this is another article in the Wall Street Journal that just kind of swept social media. I saw it in the New York Post, some other places after they picked up what the Wall Street Journal had reported on. And I'm calling it, "Do you look like Jesus? You can make bank." And this is a true thing. The first experience I have with this is when I was in college and a professor invited a group of us over to his house, sort of a study group kind of a thing. And it was a very nice house up on the bench in Provo. They were very well off. And I walked in and there was a giant mural of Christ sitting down surrounded by a bunch of children, and they were very distinct looking children. It wasn't just like your typical church painting. And the professor's wife said, "Oh, these are my grandchildren. I commissioned this to have this painted. You know, they posed for it and here they are sitting with Christ." And I remember thinking, oh, that's awfully presumptuous. You know, hopefully they will be sitting with Christ. But that was my first experience in the 80s of people wanting to have some kind of portrayal of their actual family members actually with Christ. And this is what this is about. If you can go to the next slide, this is becoming a thing. So here's some other ideas that I found on Etsy where you can, you know, submit a picture of your loved one and you will get back a drawing of your loved one in the bosom of Christ, I guess is what it is. So if you can go to the next slide, here's another one. You can, yeah, those are just headshots, right? And they'll put you in biblical garb and you can stand there with Jesus. Also, if you have a loved one who's departed, you can submit a picture and there's Jesus kissing grandma on the head. So, you know,
that was the memorial.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
in loving memory, it says.
That's what I'm saying. Grandma has passed away and you have sent in a picture and now you can picture Jesus grandma being greeted by Jesus in the next life. But as far as in Utah, about 7 years ago, this went crazy on social media. This is an engagement picture and they're walking and talking and sitting with Jesus because we've heard that before, right? There should be a third person in your marriage and it should be Jesus.
I'm surprised he's not walking in between them.
Yeah, well, he is standing there right there. Yeah, I won't even go there. All the different things that people say about that Jesus should be in every part of your marriage, right? And so this was kind of huge, but it's kind of made a resurgence with people wanting to have family portraits with Jesus. There was one particular photographer in Utah who hired somebody, you know, who had longer hair. She wanted to do a photo shoot with children and somebody that looked like, you know, kind of the Good Shepherd. And when they posted these pictures, it just took off. And other people are saying, I want that picture. I want to have my, kind of like with Santa, right? You want to, there's a fine line, Santa, Jesus, and you want to have them with, so if you go to the next
with children.
Picture, exactly. So here's an example of that. This was shared in the Wall Street Journal. There is an actor who is posing as Jesus, and there are some cute little kids dressed up in clothes of the period, and there they are. Apparently, these models that look like Jesus can make up to $200 an hour just to put on the garb and to be in the pictures. And although there was a warning on one of the photographer's site that said, if your child doesn't like posing with Santa, it can kind of be the same thing. Like you can set them on Jesus's lap and they can start, start screaming. So, but I don't know. Have you guys heard of this? Are you intrigued enough to grow your hair out? I feel like maybe both of you could do this.
I think you're right. I could be Heavenly Father at this point. At a younger age, maybe I could have passed for Jesus, but now I've got to go strictly for God. So Vegas has the Elvis impersonators and Utah has the Jesus impersonators.
Yeah. And it is funny because if you think about it, there are lots of restrictions on facial hair in the church. I mean, I think they're lifting some of those, but definitely beard restrictions at BYU, things like that. And yet here's somebody that looks like Christ and you're encouraged to grow your hair. My oldest son had long hair and a beard like that. And I kept saying to him, you can go out there and make bank. I'm not kidding. You can also, I know there's somebody that is Jesus on social media, and you can send in a birthday request message and they will read that message to the birthday recipient.
Jesus does parties?
Yeah, no, yeah. It's the kind of like you could open your email RFM and there would be Jesus saying, RFM, I know you've been a good boy this year, right? A heartfelt message for your birthday. That sounds
well done, thou good and faithful Radio Free Mormon.
Well done, thou good and faithful. That's right. Bill, any thoughts on this?
I don't know if I'm being cynical or if I don't know if it's my issue or if it's the picture, but something about it strikes me as creepy. And I can't be much more specific than that. And maybe it's just because, no, I haven't heard of this before. And this seems untoward on a number of different levels. But then again, you know, when they used to take pictures of dead relatives after they passed on. I thought that was creepy too. So maybe it's me.
Yeah.
I'll just note, it might be interesting to have a wedding officiant who looks like Jesus.
Have you thought of that? Yeah.
I'm not going to grow my hair out and I got to lose a few pounds too. And I don't think Jesus walked.
Who says Jesus was skinny? You can be pudgy Jesus.
You gotta look the part. You have to look like Western world American Jesus for this.
Viking Jesus. Yeah. You kind of have to
look. You get a wig. Get a wig and a corset and you're set to go.
Yep. Anyway, a wig and a corset.
This guy could do it. And so I'm surprised that there isn't a Jesus wedding officiant yet, because I think somebody would pay for it.
Yep. And I feel like there's a trend. I feel like ward parties, there's the huge demand, I think. So I decided, given this new trend, right? I'm very cutting edge. I made you guys a Christmas present. If you go to the next slide, I know you're going to love this. This is perfect. There you go.
There it is.
There's Jesus and there's Bill on the left and RFM on the right. I thought maybe if I sent you guys copies of it, you could hang it on your mantle.
It's so funny. I would be laughing out loud right now if this were the first time I was seeing it. And the reason I know that is because the first time I saw it, I laughed out loud. I look like, I don't know, St. Francis of
Assisi.
You do. Free Mormon.
I can tell you one truth about that picture, which is all three of those guys didn't like the Pharisees or the Sadducees.
That's exactly right. I had to work really hard to generate all you guys having the right amount of fingers because AI just won't do it. But I think I got it. Just don't count too closely. So anyway, that is my Christmas present to you guys. A lovely picture of you standing with Christ.
That was so nice.